So if I were to ask you to describe the difference between a cat and a dog, you would have a really hard time doing that. But somehow you learned the difference between a cat and a dog because when you were little, you looked at a fuzzy animal and your mom said cat or dog. And they said that enough times that you started to somehow, your little brain understood what the difference was between a cat and a dog. They're both fuzzy, they both have 4 feet, they both have whiskers. I mean, it's really hard to describe in words the difference between a cat and a dog, but you know just by looking. And you know that because they were labeled. They were labeled every time you saw one when you were little, and you saw them millions of times. So we are going to create a chatbot, and we're going to have to label the data. The idea behind machine learning is that you give the computer a ton of data and you label it so that the machine knows what the label is and can start to make connections on its own. So it's not exactly programming it, but it learns on its own. So this is a kind of complicated process, but it's useful and I think you will enjoy. So please read all the instructions on this page and on the sub pages in your notebook. And then if you still are confused, let me know. But I'm going to walk you through just the very beginning of the project. So the link is going to take you to this Machine Learning for Kids in the UK. And when you log in, well, I'll log out. You can see what it's like. So when you go to log in, you're going to log in here where it says already registered, because I've already registered you, and your username and password are on the step-by-step instructions on that next page, then one of the first sub-page in your notebook. So when you click login, you're going to log in with, well, actually, I'm going to log in with this account and the password that's already there. So once you log in, you're not going to have an admin page, but you're going to have a go to your projects. So you're going to go to your projects, and you won't have any projects in here. So you're going to click on add a new project, and you're going to follow the instructions that are on these pages. Now I can actually go back and probably pull this in the step-by-step instructions on this page. So you logged in, your username and password, you clicked on projects, and you click add a new project. So you're going to add a new project. You're going to give it some sort of a name based on the topic that you picked. I'm just going to use the one that they had that says owls, but you're going to have a totally different topic. And then here you have to click on this recognizing, and you have to say text. We're recognizing text, and then you're going to click create, because hopefully it will say English. So then you're going to click on your project. Now I'm going to show you the one that I've done already. I did one on Benjamin Franklin. You could do one on a person. You could do one on a place. You can do one on anything that you can come up with 5 questions about. So I'm going to click on this Benjamin Franklin one and show you what I did. Then you're going to open this train. You're going to open this to train it. You're going to create these buckets or labels up here. You're going to create, you have to have at least 5 of them. All right, and you're going to create new ones. And here, wait, I'll go back to the other one so you can see that again. Wait, let me go back to my projects. I'll go back to the new one that didn't have anything. So train, add a new label. And if this was owls, you can see the watch on the pages, you'll see this. So one of the questions might have to do with food, because you want to know what owls eat. So you would make a label that said food. So you're going to think, you're going to create a label for a bucket that relates to the 5 questions that you want answered. What you're going to put in here are not the answers to the question. You're going to put in different ways to ask the question. You're loading it with data so that it learns to recognize what your intent was. All right, let me go back now and show you the other one I did so that you can get some idea. Oh, wait, back to projects, sorry. Projects, Ben Franklin, okay. All right, so for my Ben Franklin project, my 5 questions were things like, right, who are you? Why are you famous? These were questions that different ways that I wanted to ask, and I wanted it to understand the intent to find out about Ben Franklin's accomplishments. These questions were all questions that might be asked to find out when during the time was he alive? When was he doing his work? Where was he doing his work? These are all different questions about It's not the answer. They're different ways of asking the question. Same thing with electricity and politics. Obviously, yours is going to be different. But I asked what you need to put in here are questions, not answers. The answers we're going to write later. And there'll be one or more answers for each of these questions. And if you look in on these pages here, it's going to explain to you a little bit more about what it expects. And if you're confused at all, then you have to let me know, and I'll help you, because it is very, very confusing. Once you've got all of these, you need to have at least 5 questions in each of these. You can use complete sentences. You could use phrases. You could try phrases. It tells you to do complete sentences, but it's up to you. Obviously, the more data, the better. Then you'd go back to the project. At this point, once you've got those filled, you're going to stop and you're going to send me an email, and we're going to talk about what you've done so far, because I just don't want you to do extra work and not understand. The next step would be the learn and test. You and I can do that together. When you click the learn and test, what it's going to do is it's going to send your model through IBM Watson, and mine already has been tested, so I'm going to delete that model because I've already done that. But this is what you'll see. You're going to train the new model. It's going to take, a few minutes to train, and it tells you started training, and you could wait for it to be trained, or you could try the machine learning quiz below. It'll give you a quiz to take your time if you want, and eventually it'll pop up. And once it's trained, this is the important part, and I want to do this with you at least the first time so you can understand. Now that it's finished training, the idea is you're going to enter a test question here. So if I'm using my Ben Franklin question here, I don't want to put in exactly a question that I had before. So I'm going to say, when was the time that, this doesn't make any sense, but how about what years? Let's try this. What years were you active? I know that I did not ask that as a question. And then it's going to go in, and it recognized when with 100% confidence. The idea is you keep asking the questions and you measure the confidence. Let's see, how about when, how about not when, how about what did you discover? Let's try that. I know I don't think I put that in there either. All right, and it's still going back to accomplishments, but notice that it's less confident here. And if you ask a question and that it didn't come out with the right bucket, then you have to kind of go back to the drawing board and see what else, what other data can you add to make it more accurate. So this will take you this far, and then we'll have a conversation, and once you've got it as far as you think it needs to be, then you'll be done with this part of the module. And then in the next module, we're going to turn this into a very cute Scratch project. So if you have any questions at all, please, please, please don't forget to let me know.